guys, it's Taylor and Cassie hanging out at Sweety High with our girl Mary MOUSER from Cobra Kai, who is joining us. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, I'm excited.
We're so excited that you're here.
Coming.
I know, we've been trying to plan this
schedule.
visit for a minute,
I know.
and it's finally here. So much to talk about. For those who may not be familiar with Cobra Kai, which is on YouTube Premium, kind of give the premise of the show as best as you can.
Okay, all right, let me see if I can do this the 100 words or less version.
Right?
Speed dating.
Make it fit in a tweet.
Clear and concise, yeah.
No, so Cobra Kai is basically the story of the dojo Cobra Kai, which if you know from the original Karate Kid movies from the 80s, it picks up 30 years later basically, and where their lives are now. So Daniel, awesome. the crane kick champion, and where his life is now, and he has a family. I play his daughter, and he has kind of like the ideal like California life, and he's like an auto tycoon. And then there's Johnny Lawrence, who was the cool guy back in the day, and now he is kind of living a crappy life, and like he's trying to like figure his stuff out, and in the process he reopens the Cobra Kai dojo.
And somewhat like paying it forward and then like serving as a mentor, right?
But what he's doing by accident is he's reinforcing the things that he was taught, which he didn't realize parts of those were toxic.
Right.
And he's trying to cherry pick the good and only teach the good, but at the end of the day, how can you teach the good when most of what you're teaching is, destroy the enemy? And so it's interesting to like see how somebody can go from being the good guy to the bad guy, and you're seeing that in this new generation of kids that have come in.
What was it about this project that really drew you in?
I mean, so going into this, I had never seen the original Karate Kid movies.
Okay.
So I got the initial audition email, and my boyfriend was like, so what are you doing today? I was like, oh, I have an audition. He was like, what for? And I was like, looking at the email, I was like, oh, it's called Cobra Kai. And he was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, yeah, no, seriously. And he was like, well, who are you playing? And I was like, Samantha LaRusso. And he was like, are you kidding me?
No
My boyfriend was like
way.
spazzing out, and he was like super excited for me. So, but he tried like not to put pressure. So the idea was I wasn't gonna watch the movies until I found out that I didn't book it. And then I was like, then we'll watch them later. It'll be a fun thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be able to say, I auditioned
surprise!
for it. Yeah, exactly. So I get down to the end, and then eventually I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to watch these right now. And I found out that I booked it. I went and watched them. So for me, it was the draw was really like once I had watched the movie and I like had met Ralph. It was this moment of like I was like kind of like shaking, and I remember he came out. So I went back after I had officially booked it. I went back for one more read where I was going to read with two guys who were playing Miguel, and they were trying to figure out which one they were going to go with. And Ralph came out and he was like, hey, congratulations. And he like hugged me, and I was like having this like out of body moment where I was just like, oh, this is my new normal. Like this is my life now. Like Ralph Macchio just like knows my name, and he like hugged me, and it's no big deal. Please don't cry in public. And so,
keep it together.
Yeah,
but
keep it together.
Can you explain them? Because I know a lot of acting, when you do see parts, if you get too into them and you're so excited about them, and when they work out, that's great, right?
Yes.
But then there's the other side of it. Well, I don't want to get too attached because 9 times out of 10, this isn't going to work out.
Yep.
So how do you juggle those, the two buckets there?
I try to not think 10 steps ahead, but that's so hard when that's like what, your mind tends to do. Your mind, like, you think the what ifs, the scenarios. So it's happened a few times where like this one where I get something that's so cool and so unique and so like crazy where it's just like you don't want to let it go, but you also, at the same time, you're trying to like hold it at a distance and be like, let's hope this works out, and let's
Sounds like
hope
dating.
I don't. Yeah, like, oh my gosh.
The second you get like too involved and really into it and like down that Instagram rabbit hole, like we're getting married, it just like doesn't happen.
Well, luckily I got to marry Cobra Kai in the sense in that analogy. I guess I got down the aisle.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about your character Samantha and how you relate to her.
I feel like when I was playing Samantha and when I read Samantha and all this stuff, it just felt like me, which I feel like sounds like cheesy and like people say that, but like genuinely, I feel like a lot of these struggles, and I feel like that's kind of a lot of people, a lot of girls, but a lot of people in general deal with this kind of figuring out who you are versus who you want to be versus who you wish you were versus like who you think you are inside, and like figuring all of those pieces out and how that works all together. And I think that's the main thing that she's kind of figuring out as she goes on is what is cool and what is important, and how do those things level up? You know, she was raised right. She was raised in a family full of love. She was raised to know the difference between good and bad, to know the difference between being a good friend, and I think she's struggling with that part of her that's warring with the part of her that's like, but the cool kids kind of want me to be a part of the group right now, and like maybe I have to lose Aisha for a few minutes, but I'll come back to, you know, and it's like, but then learning that lesson throughout the season.
And are we gonna see those kind of lessons come into play again in season 2?
I think that's, you know, definitely she hasn't learned everything just yet.
Okay.
And I think that was, you know, something that was so great about the Karate Kid movies was you can identify with not only Daniel, but so many different characters throughout the show and throughout the movies. You can identify with the different characters and their different struggles and where they are. And I feel like that's the same kind of thing with this, is like she's still learning. She's still got a long ways to go. Like right now we kind of came to the end of season 1 where she's kind of figuring out her roots again. She's trying to go back to like what she knows is right and what she knows she wants. But then that's gonna open up a whole nother, you know, door, because she's trying to reconnect with her best friend Aisha, but Aisha's on the bad side of the squad. She's over on the Cobra Kai team. So it's, you know, there's still a whole lot left to learn, a whole lot further to go for her.
And you guys start shooting season 2 in October, right?
Yes.
So do you know where Samantha's storyline is gonna go already, or not yet?
I don't know much. I don't know
Okay.
much at all. I have been pestering, but they're being very good about keeping tight-lipped.
Even if you did know, you wouldn't be able to share it anyways.
No,
but yeah.
It's something I'm very excited to see the first round of scripts that are coming out. But I think something I would be really cool too is just I'm excited for like the physical stuff. I'm excited for the karate aspect.
I was gonna ask about that. Now, how do you train for like? Are you naturally athletic? No.
No.
Yeah.
Step 1 was learning how to walk on a treadmill. I don't exercise at all, So I actually had a really like interesting going into season 1. I was like, I gotta get fit. I gotta get in shape. I found out 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave for Georgia. So I was like, okay, I have 2 weeks to like get in shape. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go vegan. So I I'll go vegan for a couple of weeks, and like I'll just, you know, the weight will just melt off, because that's what you think in your head, right? And you're like, all of a sudden I'll be able to run a marathon. So I decided to go vegan, and I went to this restaurant, and I went there for like 2 days straight. This was the beginning of my new vegan lifestyle. I went there for 2 days straight, and everything is made with cashew milk, cashew mayo, cashew cheese, cashew everything. And then I found out on the 3rd day that I was allergic to cashews.
Oh gosh.
And I found out because I went to the gym with my friend, and I remember looking in the gym mirror, like she was like lifting weights or something. I remember looking in the gym mirror and going, do you see something under my tongue? Like my tongue feels swollen.
Oh,
and then I woke up the 3rd day and I had literally 27 sores in my mouth.
Oh,
I couldn't eat, so I guess that was a diet plan. I couldn't eat for like 3 days.
Yeah.
No, it was horrible. Like me, because I'm type 1 diabetic, I have to
Right.
consume a certain amount of carbs. So I'm like sitting there like, like trying to eat. It was so bad. So I've learned my lesson that slow and steady wins the race.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna start working now to get in shape. In time.
So what does your training entail then for Cobra Kai? Do you have to do, you know, obviously you have to have strength.
Yes.
To do, because you do your own stunts, right?
I did
for the
a
most
few
part.
of them. Yeah, I did. I definitely left. There was a couple moves there that I left to the professionals who have been doing this their whole life.
You gotta know your limits. I think that's what we've learned here today.
Know the limits. Yeah, exactly. But no, I did actually. I love getting to do stuff like that, like special effects and stunts and all of the like gritty side of like the very like posh lifestyle we get to live as actors. And so I was like, you know, I wanted to get involved as much as possible. I even like sparred with Sholo, who plays Miguel. I like would be his practice dummy. I was like, if there's anything I can help you with. It turned out very fast that I could not keep up exactly, but I was a great test dummy. I just stood there at one point and I was like, just kick me, it's fine. But no,
Have you ever?
My training was interesting, but I did as much as I possibly could. I learned some really cool stuff that I have since been applying to joking around with my friends. They don't find it very funny. The 5th time, but no, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I think hopefully it'll be a little more extensive this year.
Have you ever been injured on set? You probably can't even say that because you could get in trouble for that.
I don't like to complain. I'm a big like I get very like, you know, I won't say anything. I'll have like a broken limb and I'll be like, I'm not gonna say anything.
No, it's okay.
No, but like I've always been like that. I hate being a complainer. So I actually did when I was learning. There's like this flip that Sholo and I do where I like jump on him sideways and like flip him down.
Okay.
And when we were learning it, I was practicing it with the stunt coordinator, and I spiked my head on the floor, which I guess if like people play football already, because my boyfriend was like, oh, that sounds like you spiked your head, because I came home and I was like, so there was a stinging sensation all throughout my neck and my head, and like I was like, yeah, no, I kept going. He was like, no, literally, like the instructor was like, we're gonna sit down for a few minutes, because like he could tell like there was something up, but I wouldn't say what was going on, and then I found out later apparently I like spiked my head. But no, I think the worst injury I've ever gotten on any set is like a bee sting. You know, I've been pretty lucky. As clumsy as I am, for some miracle of a way, I have not permanently injured myself yet.
Just bee stings. That's it. Those are still rough too. So.
Hey, that was really bad. I got stung by a bee in a restaurant on my boyfriend's birthday this year.
Oh, no.
Literally. And have you guys ever been to Craig's?
No.
Okay,
Yes.
so Craig's is like super bougie. Like
Yes.
super
In
bougie.
Beverly Hills.
It's like they have literally paparazzi sit outside of the front door and just wait for someone famous to come. So we get out of the Uber, and it's one of his favorite restaurants. He loves the fried chicken there. So I was like, we'll go there for his birthday. I surprised him, so we like get out of the Uber, and the door opens, and this bee flies at me, and I was like, ooh, and I like swatted it away. Meanwhile, the paparazzi over there are like,
Yeah.
like, what is this random person doing? So I was like swatting the bee away, and then I was like, Brett, I still feel like it's on me. I feel like it's on me. I feel like it's on me. And Brett was like, no, it's like, he was like, no, you're fine. And so we go into the restaurant, we sit down, and I was like,
oh, it's
and
there.
I hit it. It stung my shoulder. I screamed. I knocked over a chair. It was very embarrassing. It's a very quiet, very bougie restaurant.
at Craig's, yeah.
I like
She's
stood
not welcome
up,
back.
knocked the chair over, started screaming, and they still didn't comp dessert, which I was mad about, but whatever.
Whatever.
Oh my god,
Oh
you and
my
your
God.
boyfriend. I want to go to Craig's with you guys. I, feel like
I
I'm
know, you guys
enjoying
seem
that
like so
experience
much
right
fun.
there.
Yeah.
I love it. You are so fun.
Well, thank you. My embarrassment, I think, provides lots of entertainment for other people, and I'm fine with that.
Good stories. You should have a podcast.
Oh my gosh. That would just be the string of things that Mary does wrong. Like that would
Working
be my
title.
story.
There you go.
got it.
There you
Anyone
go.
listening out there, Apple, podcast, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Oh goodness, well girl, thanks so much for coming in.
you.
We have to have you back in. Maybe you can like teach
Yeah.
us some moves
Yeah.
at a later date.
For
Ooh.
season 2,
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
100%.
Oh, yeah,
you gotta
that'd be
come back.
awesome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you for
watching.
having me.
Where can everyone keep up with you on your social media?
My Twitter is at Mary M. Mouser, but I really don't know how to use Twitter very well. So
I know it, sure.
my Instagram is where I am at most of the time. 99% of my time, it's at Miss Mary M. Mouser.
I love it. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.